Hi, and welcome for a short demonstration of the RAM tester. So this is a new version. This is what you actually get if you buy the RAM tester from me. This is PCB version 2.1. You get a matte black design, the indication where you should put the RAM, and of course there is an OLED display, and we'll come to that. So this is a unit that you would get at the moment. Let's switch to my test unit for demonstration reasons. So maybe you can see the display flickering. So of course that's a camera issue. With the eye you won't see that. You can see here that this is running version 2.5.1. That's an unreleased version for the time being. Now let's start with the 20-pin RAM size. So you can either put it in to the SIF socket. We push reset, it will start set to 20-pin test mode. So this is a static column RAM, and you can see the test is rather fast. So to show you that there is no fake test, I just restart it. Now it's running. I open it up and you can see there is a fault, and the test was running was pattern number 4. Let's use something else. Let's use a zip pattern or a zip socket type. So this goes in here. You can't use them both at the same time, of course. So either this one or this one. I start it, and this is another type that is no static column RAM, and you can see the test was successful for this type of RAM. So let's switch to a smaller size. So here I have a RAM that was recently added to be tested. That is a 1 meg times 1 RAM. Let's see if it's get detected. You can see it was detected correctly. The problem with this RAM is it takes a bit of testing time. Roughly the test time is 28 seconds for this RAM. The reason for this is that the socket pin out here for the testing was optimized for this large 20-pin types. It can also test, those can go up to 1 meg times 4. So it is rather big, the RAM. But also this RAM, you can see it is tested well, faster than 28 seconds. So then the more commonly RAM that was used in the 80s is probably this one here, can be found in Commodore 64s in the late versions, for instance, and also this one is tested okay. So let's dial in the 16-pin RAMs. So first one, again, a RAM that was used in the C64. That is a 64K times 1 RAM. And you can see also this one tested okay. And one that was used later, maybe in the Amigas, for instance, was this guy here. In the early Amigas, you had 16 of those or more. And also this one is okay. So now I have a simulation here because I don't have this RAM type yet. That's even a smaller one. It's a 16K times 1. That will now also work with this version of the software. And you can see also this one tested okay. Now to show you what is actually happening if we have RAM that is damaged. So here I have a RAM from a not so much reputable Chinese seller. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, and you can see there is a problem here. This apparently is no RAM. Actually, I have no idea what it is. It might be some kind of logic IC, I don't know. But always, I can also measure it. There is a ground short towards pin 1 and detector. The RAM tester detects that and then stops the testing. I also have RAM that has some kind of address issues. So I think it's this one. Let's see. So you can see it actually identifies itself as 60. Well, let me see again. Oh, now it's another one. This has problem with the line decoder, so it's always some different thing. I think one of the lines here is unconnected, so sometimes it goes to 1, sometimes it goes to 0. That's why the RAM tester is not sure if it is a 41256 or 4164, but it has issues with the address lines, and that's why also the test stops here. So now the latest addition, and I think some of you have been waiting for this, is this little daughter board here. That's a prototype. Of course, the final version will be equipped with this guy here, with a 16-pin ZIF socket. So this is kind of development stage. It's also, the design is changing. And what you can do is here, we dial in 20 pin. So that's also written here. You must use the 20 pin. I put this in here. And as you can see, this is a 4116. And it actually can test 4116. And the special thing about those is that it needs additional voltages that the board does not provide. So do we have some voltage regulation units here? This board or this RAM also needs -5 and +12 volts. So this board is actually creating those voltages needed. And so you can also test with this board a 4116 RAM with this additional voltages needed. So this will become available very, very soon. Needs the latest software, and you can see still we have the message if there is no RAM here. The tester can't detect the type of RAM. You get this kind of error here. And if you want to know the software version, just dial an illegal dip switch combination, so like all to off, so you can't test any dip, any RAM, and you say, okay, check the dip settings, please, and here it will always print the software version you have. The RAM tester is upgradable. There are RAMs have been added in the past. So here is an ICSP socket. The documentation on GitHub tells you how to upgrade your RAM tester if you want to do it. And the latest software version is always on GitHub. Of course, if new RAMs are added to the RAM tester, this is free of charge. So as I said, this board will become available soon. For those who order one of the RAM testers from me, you can also order the daughter board for the 4116 RAMs. But of course, you can also build it yourself. All the documentation you need is available on GitHub, and you can also build yourself a version with true hole components if you prefer that. Not for this board though, because there is many resistors. That's not shown here now, but there's too many components, so the board will get rather large, and so this will be an SMD only version board. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments below. You can also reach out on the GitHub repository, create an issue if you have anything to ask or add, and I will see if I can fit it in the RAM tester. So again, that's my test board. That's the version you actually get. So I hope you enjoyed.